Hey guys, I'm Game Advisor and welcome back to another Icarus update video. You may have noticed that we haven't been posting these all that often, and that's just because most of the updates are pretty small, so we decided that we're just going to be doing these big update videos where we're covering major patches and additions to the game, rather than the little bit smaller ones. We might start doing those smaller ones again once the DLC hits, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started. So this is the week 78 update, which is going to be the Galileo patch. If you didn't know, Galileo has been pretty hyped lately, as it's going to be adding some major new mechanics and progression for you to work on in the game. The two main ones here are going to be the fishing and bestiary systems. So let's go ahead and break them down. The fishing system is currently comprised of 53 different species of fish. That means you can catch all 53 species. You also will have 23 lures in order to help you do all of this. Some of these may be located on one map and not another, while others will be more likely to be found in different biomes. This comes via the freshwater and saltwater systems. Freshwater is going to be found mostly in the forest biomes as well as the snow or winter biomes, and then you will find the saltwater fish inside the desert biome. It currently seems that every pond has different fish in it and different quality of fish depending on where you're actually fishing at. So if you're fishing in a offbeat, dangerous area, you probably will be finding high quality fish in that area. Whereas if you're fishing in, say, the spawn location for one of the earlier missions where there's not that many challenging animals around, you will not be finding very high quality of fish. But again, you can find different fish. So let me go ahead and just break down what quality actually means. Quality is essentially just the game's way of saying how valuable or how rare was this fish on top of it being rare. So for an example, you could find a 20% quality common fish, or you could find a 20% quality rare fish. This also works for uncommon as well as the rest of the rarities for the different fish that are available. In order to get these new rods, you'll be able to craft one pretty much right away as it's found in the tier 1 tree, but if you want to get a better rod and better lures, you're going to have to craft the higher end fishing rods at the new fishing bench that is available to you. Then all you'll need to do is go ahead and equip the lure you want to use by holding down R or whatever your arrow select button would normally be, select the lure you want to use and start fishing. Keep in mind that these rods and lures do have durability, which is consumed every time you cast. Now, with all of these different lures to carry around, as well as all of these different types of fish, you're going to wonder how you'll be carrying all of that, and that will be through the new tackle box. The tackle box is essentially a deployable item like a chest, except you can store items in it and then pick it up and it will continue to hold those items. It currently can hold 3 lures and 2 different fish and will keep the fish alive while they're inside of it. So if you wanted to go catch, say, 20 fish, you could bring 10 of these boxes and store them all inside and make sure that they don't die on your run home. It's worth noting that they did also add the fishing trap finally to the game, which we've all been looking at for about a year now in the blueprint tree, and the fishing trap comes in 2 forms, with a lower and higher quality one, and they seem to have a little bit different of catching rate, but at the end of the day they will still catch the same fish dependent upon where you actually put the trap. So if you put it in a low quality fish area, you're gonna find low quality fish regardless of the tier of the trap. The trap also is pretty slow at generating it, but it's not that slow. However, it can also catch trash, so you'll want to make sure to check it regularly, as you don't want to be getting a ton of trash instead of valuable fish. As far as how the actual catching itself goes, you're pretty much just going to throw your lure into the water by left clicking with your fishing rod, then wait for it to turn orange, at which point you'll then play a little mini game where you have to keep a bar on top of a little fish icon in order to catch the fish. Once you do that long enough, you'll catch the fish, and it is more difficult depending on the quality of that fish. Now, before I give my personal opinions on what I think about this system, let's go ahead and talk about the bestiary system and the journal that you'll now have, since it is related to fishing as well. The way this works is pretty straightforward. Anytime you catch a fish or kill an animal, you're going to be getting some bonus information about that animal or fish. For an example, the more times you catch a fish, the more information you'll gain about it, and the better ability you'll have to find it and use the proper lure in order to actually catch catch said fish. This also applies to every single animal in the game. Everything from bears to rabbits to cougars to elephants will all be in this journal for you to learn about and get rewards based on how many times you've killed them. You will gain progress towards these rewards for each time you down them, as well as being downed by them, and a whole bunch of other little things. As far as the rewards themselves that you'll be getting a variety of different things. At 1%, you'll learn the creature's name and habitat. At 10%, you'll be able to get lore about the creature. 20% will give you the creature's traits, such as their weaknesses, strengths, and unique behaviors. 30% will give you even more lore. 40% we will gain a perk related to that creature specifically. 60% the creature's unique loot table will be available to you so you can see what it can actually drop. At 80%, you'll also get more lore about the creature, and finally at 100%, you'll get another perk related to that creature. On top of that, for each 20% progress on an animal you find in the Bestiary, you're going to get 1% extra damage done to that animal, as well as 1% damage reduction whenever that animal hits you. Keep in mind that there is every animal, and that does include bosses. So if you do decide to farm bosses, you'll be able to get lots of information about them, as well as extra damage and damage reduction, which is pretty darn useful. Now, real quick, I'm just going to touch on this because it's pretty straightforward, but they've added some achievements and trading cards that are available to you now. If you don't care about achievements or trading cards, this doesn't mean anything to you, but if you are one of those people that want to collect them all and get all the achievements, you'll start getting the achievements the second you boot into the game. Now, as far as my actual opinions go, I think this update isn't bad by any means, but for a 3-month hype train, I think it was a little bit lackluster. However, if you are the kind of player that wants to unlock everything and wants something to progress towards, this is definitely the update for you. This is going to give you tons of farming to do when it comes to killing specific creatures, tons of farming to do when it comes to finding the best quality of each fish, and making sure that you can collect them and put them in your aquariums at home. So if that's the kind of player you are and you've been playing the open world mode a lot, then odds are this is going to be a great update for you and give you plenty to work towards throughout your time in Icarus. However, if you are the kind of player that likes to focus on missions, I don't think you're going to get a lot of value for this time that they put into the update. That's just because if you don't care about the extra 1% damage in the Bestiary, then you're probably really not going to benefit from it much, and it's really just kind of a collect 'em all collectible system. Again, by no means a bad update. I'm glad they added it, but unfortunately, I think it is just a little bit lackluster for what I was hoping they were building the hype for. Now, I will personally be doing an interview with the devs, so if you guys want to check out that video, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when it comes out, which should be in the next week or two. If you have any specific questions you would like me to ask the developers and you're watching this before that video comes out, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will do my best to ask them as many questions as I can about what you guys want to know about the game. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I want to give a big shout out to our Platinum and Above channel members, which currently include Caustic FPV, Jonathan S, Gerald89, AZ Blackbird, and Jim Phillips. I'm Game Advisor, and I'll see you in the next one.